I've been thinking about a time when I was 19. See, when I was 19, I just had my first year of college. And instead of going home, I thought, I like to do something different with my summer. And so I found a great opportunity to go to a different city I'd never been to and to work with a church plant for a whole summer. And so my first week there, I'm getting to know people, and it's a new lay of the land. It's kind of exciting. And one of the things we're going to do this weekend is we're going to go to a baseball game. So we all hopped in a van to go to a baseball game. And one of the people that was in our group, he said, I actually would like you guys to meet my friend Jamal. He actually really could use some help right now. Could we pick him up? And so we picked him up. He came with us to the game. And then that night, actually I had a roommate, and we both were just like, who is Jamal? Who is this person that just came on this trip? And we found out he was homeless, that he didn't have a place to go to that night, that he had been without a job for some time. I just never thought that God would use this relationship in the way that he did, but he actually used this relationship to draw me deeper into my walk with Jesus. Because that summer, this whole time I thought was going to be about, okay, I'm going to work on this mission project, going to work on this team, was actually learning about how to be the best friend to someone who's very different than myself. Someone who was much older, who had very different life experiences. But then at the same time, I remember that days after we met, I was driving 3 hours away to help him find documentation that he needed. And I have this image in my mind of us driving back after a late night trip where we kind of found some of the things that he needed, and we're getting to know each other on a car ride. You know how you sometimes have great conversations on a car ride? Well, I just remember seeing him, and it's dark. I remember him asking, well, what do you believe? Because he was kind of disenchanted about his faith. He didn't really understand too much about what was going on in the church or what the gospel was about. So he asked me what I believed, what I thought about. And I thought, here I am, 19 years old, talking to a much older guy than myself, and then realizing, it's like, this is what I've been called to do. I've been called to share what the love of God is like. But I've also been called to listen to this man's story. You ever think about it? Sometimes we often get caught up into saying what we want to say, but not listening. And I look at this car ride, and I was doing both. And then in the weeks ahead, when we started serving together, and then a month later, he's actually a part of our church, and he's realizing, the church is not just for all these Christians that are way better than me. The church is for me. The church is a place where we can find home, because Christ has changed everything in our lives by what he's done. That he says that we are loved and that we are his. I go back to this relationship and this moment in times, and I think about those few days of meeting Jamal just outside of a van, talking with him that night after a baseball game, talking with him on the road back, and I just think that this was really a crossroads moment for Jamal. Life is not always about having the right answer or knowing the right thing to say, but about how to meet people in the moment of decision. To walk with them through the biggest decisions that they could possibly ever make. To be that representation of love for people who you are just learning to care about, people who you want to see the best for. And I think that, wow, that's what happened that day. And that could happen any day, to you or to me. But we have to be ready. And that's kind of one of the exciting things about it. Just the thought going on today. There's something in here. You might want to check it out.